even lie. I've altered I think I've altered the outcome of many in the general election by just lying, you know, so it's great fun. Although the surveys can be interesting, there was one in England I read about just literally before I came on this tour, which was quite fascinating really. It said that 95% of all teenage boys go to bed holding their mobile phone. It was a lot different in my day. There you go. Anyway, now I mentioned the sessions I played on. I mentioned Cat Stevens. Undoubtedly the most influential person I ever worked with, who I learned more about how to work in the studio than anybody else, was my late great friend David Bowie. He was absolutely remarkable, David. We first met in 1968. I did Space Oddity with him in '69, then the Space Oddity album. It was wonderful tracks like Wild Eyed Boy for a Free Cloud. Then, of course, there was Hunky Dory. I did a bit of Ziggy with him, and then we were neighbours for 5 years out in Switzerland. And then the last thing I did with him was Absolute Beginners. But we kept in touch all the time. And when we came to do Hunky Dory, that was really fascinating because he called me up and said, come around the house, I want to play you some songs. So I went round to his house. He had a beautiful grand piano, and he put a lot of music manuscript paper on there and some pencils and things. He said, I'm going to play some songs, make some notes. And he took out his battered old 12-string guitar. He wrote everything on this battered 12-string guitar, because his argument was, if it sounds good on this terrible instrument, how great is it going to sound when there's good instruments? Which is a very wise movement. He said to me, Rick, always write something on the piano. If it works on the piano, it'll work on anything. And I've stuck to that, and he gave so much good advice he gave me. And he played all these songs, I was making notes for going through, and he played me Life on Mars. And I said, you know what, David, that's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. He said, have you made notes on it? I said, yeah. He said, play it through. I said, well, how would you like me to play it? He said, well, you know how I want you to play it. I said, I don't, that's why I'm asking you. He said, just play it. So I played it. He said, that's how I want it. And he said, there's lesson number 2. He said, when you're making your own albums or making music, he said, make sure you always find musicians to work with who understand what you want. If you've got to try and explain it, it'll never work. He said, I've always done, he always did that right to the end of his life. He picked on musicians for the different projects that he felt would understand exactly what he was going to do. And when David passed away, I was absolutely gutted. And I got a phone call from the BBC in England on the day. They said they were doing the afternoon early evening programme on BBC Radio, totally for David, and would I like to go down and take calls and say a few words. So I went down to London, and the chap who was running the programme called Simon May, a great friend of mine, and it was a very emotional programme, lots of phone calls, playing lots of tracks of David's and talking about him. And it came to 10 to 7, the show finished at 7, and he put the last record on, and then Simon said, Rick, I've got an idea. I said, what's that? He said, well, in the studio next door is Elton John's piano, which is absolutely true. Elton John took his piano up there 15 years ago. Well, 6 guys took it up, and they refused to take it down. So it's been there ever since at the BBC. And he said, it's always mic'd up, and on Wakeman, he said, why finish the show off? Why don't you go in and play Life on Mars? I said, well, a better warning would have been nice, Simon. He said, no, it's going to be fine. Oh, bloody hell. It's all live. So I go in and I'm thinking, okay, this will be fine. And he said, oh, by the way, I said, what? He said, make sure you finish exactly on 5 seconds to 7, because that's when the news cuts in. I said, well, how will I know when it's 5 seconds to 7? He said, I'll have a girl hold the clock up. Oh, bloody hell. So I go in, I said, girl holding the clock up with the old second hand going around. I think, okay, I know roughly how long it is. It's 3:50, 3:20. So if I start at the right time, slow down a bit at the end, this could work. And it did work. It worked really, really well. And 4 days later, I got a phone call from Simon. He said, hey, Rick, he said, you know we webcammed your Life on Mars? I said, yeah, I know. He said, we've had over 3 million hits. I said, you're joking? He said, no. He said, you've gone viral. I said, I haven't had that since 1973. He said, it means something else now. And he said, a lot of people say, why don't you release it as a charity single for a cancer charity or whatever, charity charity. Now, I hate charity singles. I mean, the big ones, great, they make money, that's really good. But there are garages and warehouses full of well-meaning charity records that have just lost money. So I said, I'm not keen. And it was my wife who said you should do it, because she actually said to me, you knew David well enough, if he could come down now, and you said you were going to do the Life on Mars you did on the piano for a cancer charity, with all the money going to the charity, what do you think he'd say? I said, well, he'd say, oh, that's a good idea. She said, well, why do you want to do it then? So we did. It was very successful in the UK, and it also spawned all the piano albums, like Piano Portraits and Piano Odyssey. And I can't help but think that he was a massive influence on me when he was alive, and he's still managing to be an influence on me after he's gone. So it's very special, and I find it very hard to do any piano shows without playing these two pieces. This is Space Oddity and Life on Mars.